5-5, 5-7, 5-10, vinkel 2, Johannes, tagning 3.
The starting thing was that main melody on the guitar. You've seen me play the trombone. Still to this day, I'm very partial to brass music. I'm very partial to stylistic choices that comes from playing that kind of music. One being the fanfare. And those things. So I think it started back in the pandemic. I suddenly remembered an anime I enjoyed very much around the age of 17 or so, Berserk, right? And the soundtrack. Then revisiting that soundtrack has a lot of amazing moments, but it's pretty weird. And that weirdness, I started to wonder who made this. And doing my research, I learned about Susumu Hirasawa. So that led me to the soundtrack of an anime I'm still yet to see, but I fell in love with the soundtrack because there's something called Paprika.
It does have a great soundtrack.
And on that is Parade. So I did that. I kind of stole that. And probably, Aphex Twin. And that's the thing I like. My heart, my heart. Chopping up things, chopping up a voice and create an instrumental loop out of it. And it was so cool. So I did that with this melody and worked so much on this voice loop with chopping up my voice. And it turned out awful and I didn't use it. And that song hit a brick wall because I was unable to write a chorus for it. And it fell to the wayside. And I kept, again, this is probably one of the reasons why I cannot remember when I first came up with that little melody. Because I obsessed over it for so long, trying to make sense out of what song it needed to be.
When I got the demos for all of the songs on their album, Tonight We Must Be Warriors was the one that I immediately gravitated towards. It had a sense of escapism, I feel, that I really needed at the time and still do, because there's so much stuff going on all over the world, I feel, and that it's kind of hard to cope with everything. So you need something you need to escape somewhere just to keep yourself from going insane, I think. And this song really has that feel. So I went back and looked at movies from the Great Depression and what led up to the Second World War, and that being a period in history where people also needed escapism. And amongst other movies from that period of time, I rewatched The Wizard of Oz.
And the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true.
So there are a lot of references to The Wizard of Oz all throughout the music video. And the most obvious is the video going from a tinted black and white look and into color. So as I was sitting there being totally immersed in this classic film, there were a couple of things that really stood out to me. I mean, in this time with like online discourse and polarization, you get more attention for bad behavior and bad things and anger than you get for good behavior, good things and just being nice. And I mean, this is something that I just feel is so fundamentally wrong.
How can you talk if you haven't got a brain?
I don't know. But some people without brains do an awful lot of talking, don't they?
Yes, I guess you're right.
So watching Wizard of Oz, it really struck me how polite and kind everyone is. Judy Garland's character almost felt radical in a way.
Well, we haven't really met properly, have we?
Why, no.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Very well, thank you.
Oh, I'm not feeling at all well.
And since the song is structured in a way with build-ups and climaxes and everything, I knew that I wanted to have some act of kindness on one of these climaxes. And what I wanted to say with that was basically, you know, be kind to other people. It's way more rewarding in the end.
Det var ju riktigt jävla bra att du sträckte fram och verkligen fick tag. Ja, det var jättebra. Otroligt bra.
I love a good fight song. You know? Yeah. Judas Priest, United. Judas Priest, take on the world.
Put yourself in our hands so our voices can be heard. And together we will take on all the world.
A lot of Judas Priest. And wanting to do that, but playing around with that just stylistically, exploring that. If you are too general in what you're trying to say, you risk making something that can be used by anyone and everyone for whatever, and then it doesn't mean anything, and then it can mean awful things. And even when it means a lot in the best possible way, it can get hijacked. I mean, I don't mean to sit here and compare myself to Beethoven, right? Because my ears work. And his didn't, so clearly my music must be better. Ooh. Wink, wink. No, but don't want to compare that, but I remember seeing this documentary about all the political stances Beethoven took in the 200 plus years since his passing, because how his Ninth Symphony, the chorale, the Ode an der Freude, how it's been used by everyone and anyone for everything.
Then I noticed in all my pain and sickness what music it was that, like cracked and boomed. It was Ludwig van. Ninth Symphony, fourth movement.
And I kind of wanted to put little clues in there that makes it clear that there is a stance, right? Red runs the river thicker than blood. Red is the sky and red is our blood. So the color red is very important to this song. But how do you in 2025 sing and talk about a warrior? When saying it's important to be a warrior, it's not because of what you lust for, right? It's because of something that must be done. It's just a willingness to make a sacrifice for what's really, really important to you. And that was the important thing. And then you combine that with the dreamers, with the outsider, with the one who takes that leap of faith, take a step off of the chimney. Those are the ones who has to dare to be a warrior and do the right thing. See, I like the initial parts. I love ideas, and I think I'm good at ideas. And then I like being part of coming up with ideas good enough so they simply have to make it happen. And I really like when I don't have to solve how to make it happen. So there's a lot of solving problems that falls on Johan's table, of course.
So after we had the literal idea with Johannes floating away up onto these floating islands in the sky, I was thinking about how to realize this. Should we do everything in CGI or should we do some sort of hybrid thing? And why I came up with the idea of using miniatures is because part of the song really reminds me of the soundtrack to the movie Fantastic Mr. Fox.
We're different. We all are. Him especially. But there's something kind of fantastic about that, isn't there?
And since Fantastic Mr. Fox is done with miniatures and stop motion, I knew that I wanted to have miniatures in this video as well.
So I have all this set up in my living room at the moment. Got camera on a slider so I can do the nice push-ins. That translates to cool crane moves, and everything's just basically a mess right now. But it's worth it. It's a lot of fun, and it's a nice break from doing everything in 3D as we did for Captain Goat.
I certainly remember Johan having a lot to say and had a lot of thoughts that I agreed with, and I'm sure I said things as well, and I just don't remember the specifics of it. I just remember that to me it was important, taking a step off the chimney, that image in my head, wishing for that to be literal in the music video. That Mary Poppins step up in the air. Julie Andrews is my favorite.
Ain't she marvelous? Ain't she beautiful? Lovely, tell your mum. Hello, hello, hello.
So I wanted to step off a chimney and fly.
Tagning! Fuck! Ja, den pajar den. Ja, men då kör vi förra. Kan vi vara lite snabblimmare?
Vi har några cykellim i kväll.
Det är bra. Annars sätter vi bara en gaffa under, det är lugnt.
Okay, greatest hits med den här åran.
Ja. 3, 2, 1, stunt!
Den här blev smulor. Nej, det var platt så. Okej, nej, jag trodde det där kom från... Ja, det kom från insidan här. Så. Jan, har vi cykelin?
And the whole idea of having a bunch of floating islands in the sky came from some video games that I really like. Being able to control a flying house with an old steering wheel from a boat is from Gravity Rush. As for the singing flowers at the end, which is the, I think, visually most striking image in this video, comes from a lot of places. The fact that I played through Super Mario Wonder just before writing the screenplay from this probably helped a bit. And there's also some influences from record covers, especially these two. And it's like the pattern repetition thing. And when we shot the ending scene, I came to think of the last shot in this movie. And I think the similarities are that they have these weird clothes on, but they still are like super cool when they're when they're leaving the restaurant. Since the tone of it is so light, we had a blast filming this.
Och bryt! Snyggt! Vi tar en till. Jag tror du tittar in i kameran. Ja, precis. Vi kör en till och så är liksom... Det är riktigt porten och sammanbitet.
Scen 2.22, tagning 3.
Tagning! Okej. Tagning! Tagning!
Scen 2.22, tagning 6.
Tagning!
Scen 2.22, tagning 12.
Tagning!
Yeah, so I just feel really lucky about having the chance to spend this amount of time in this world that we built, and hopefully you guys will enjoy your time watching it too.